Hello and welcome back to the SUPfm podcast. This is a mid-season break catch-up with some selected news, stories and inspiration from across our amazing paddle community. And if you'd like more of these update episodes, then please let us know and we'll drop them into your feed. Let's start by saying this is the time to get ready to experience good vibes racing in action, because the Wollens Super Festival 2025 is very near, and you can follow all the action as SUPfm Podcast and SUP Junkie combine again on the mics on the SUPjunkie.uk live feed on Facebook as we call in the action from Tor Abbey Sands. On September the 6th and 7th, Torquay will once again become the beating heart of British SUP, and evolving from last year's Super Champs, the Super Festival showcases racing, competition and the building of connections within the paddle tribe. Sprint, technical, distance, prone, one distance racing events will all be there, and there'll be a return of the hugely popular SUP Polo tournament. Check out the video on our YouTube channel for last year's action. It was brilliant fun. And all of this is set against the spectacular backdrop of Tor Bay, with racing at Tor Abbey Sands and SUP Polo in the harbour. And if racing's not your thing, then Aquapaddle is running their 5k event for free from 8 a.m. on Saturday the 6th. And you can have a listen to our beginner episode earlier in the season if you want to hear what that's all about. But it's essentially park run for paddling. So whether you're a first-time paddler or a seasoned competitor, a junior, or if you're just coming for the vibes, there's something for everyone. Entry fees are accessible, there are loads of offers, and junior Paddle UK members can even compete in selected races for free. And beyond the competition, it's a chance to connect, celebrate and grab some exclusive SUP stash. And if it helps, I've even got brand new SUPfm podcast stickers to give away to anyone who asks for them. And with the ICF World Cup coming next year to Torquay, this is definitely the place to be. But if you haven't already, you do need to register soon, or preferably as you listen to this. Full details and registration links are in our show notes. And talking of racing and good vibes, on August the 10th, the winners of the 16th annual SUP Connect Awards were announced, recognising those who embody the best of our sport. And this year's Man of the Year was the ever-popular and friend of the show, Michael Booth, who was recognised for his consistent excellence on the water and his mentoring of athletes across the world. From Spain, there was another popular winner as Espe Barreras took Woman of the Year for 2025, not just for her own consistency and her dominance in competition, but for her leadership and commitment to giving back to the sport. And Grom of the Year went to Soren Preston, and it feels like Soren's been around forever, but she's still only 16 and giving performances that show that she's not just one to watch in the future, she's definitely one to watch now. In the industry awards, Red Paddle Co. were named Brand of the Year, and Easy SUP Store in the Netherlands were named Shop of the Year. So congratulations, guys. And finally, to round the awards off, Alastair Duncan of Red Paddle Co. was recognised as Sales Rep of the Year for his professionalism and dedication. So huge congratulations to all the winners and also to all of the popular choice winners. Their combined talent and commitment continue to shine, and recognition of their contribution is really important to mark progress in this sport. British adventurer Charlie Head will be familiar to anyone who spent some time around the UK SUP scene. He's an original OG SUP adventurer from the Isle of Wight who's competed some incredible and hairy challenges in the past. And he's just achieved a historic first, a solo stand-up paddleboard crossing from Shetland to Orkney, which is over 100 miles across the open ocean. And the water in the north of Scotland isn't traditionally a flat and hospitable stretch of water, in case you weren't aware of that. On August the 18th, Charlie set out from Scalloway in Shetland, and after 25 hours and 40 minutes of continuous paddling, he reached Sanday in Orkney. But it wasn't anything like smooth sailing to get there. He got severe food poisoning from the very start, and he battled physical weakness, nausea and exhaustion the whole way across. Charlie described it as a nightmare. He couldn't eat, could barely keep water down, and he fought off sleep by slapping himself awake and dunking his head in the sea. So for more than 25 hours, he was fueled only by water and a single digestive biscuit. And all of this comes after previous adventures, including circumnavigating the UK and an attempt on the Rio Marañón in Peru, which I believe is still being shown on Red Bull TV, and if so, very much worth a watch. So Charlie's crossing here wasn't only a personal triumph, it was also a fundraiser for Sea Shepherd, supporting marine conservation. And his unbelievable resilience, shown again in the face of adversity in his latest crossing, is something he's shown time and again. And you can find links to support Charlie's efforts and Sea Shepherd in the show notes. On August 21st, 2025, paddler Stuart McLean and his friend Gavin Matthews set out on the monumental Le Jog cycle challenge, travelling from Land's End to John O'Groats, which is the full length of mainland Britain. Their mission is in memory of Stuart's wife, Dr. Julia Hamilton, who is a much-loved GP and a member of our paddleboarding tribe, who tragically lost her life last year. I had the privilege of meeting Stuart at the Paddle UK Safety Conference last winter, where, with huge courage, he shared the story of Julia's accident. Julia and Stuart were paddling together on the River Spey in Scotland. He had gone slightly ahead of her around the next bend and out of sight when, unknown to him, she fell, her ankle leash got snagged and she was trapped underwater. Stuart eventually discovered her unconscious in the water, and despite his best efforts and the arrival of emergency services in what was a very challenging and isolated location, she tragically couldn't be saved. So having done this cycle ride that Stuart and Gavin are doing, I can confirm that this is a seriously gruelling challenge, and Stuart is doing it to raise funds for the Vine Trust, which is a charity that Julia dedicated herself to. She was a board member and she volunteered aboard their Jubilee Hope medical ship and had further trips planned. The money raised will support the Vine Trust's medical work in Tanzania and set up a grant fund in Julia's name, which is a real legacy for a remarkable woman whose service extended from her patients in Scotland to communities across Africa and across South America. Stuart's journey is also designed to highlight a call to action for all of us, because he's urging paddlers to switch from ankle leashes to quick-release waist belts on rivers or tidal waters. And he said when he spoke at the safety conference that they, as a couple, were always safety first. So had they known of the risk of ankle leashes, they would have bought the correct kit and used it. So it does show that there's still a way to go for all of us to help communicate the need for waist belts in flowing water. And Julia's tragedy, unfortunately, is not unique. And if we all help to share the message, it will help to save lives. And as this is recorded on the 1st of September, they have almost reached John O'Groats in some horrendous weather. So please support them, and you'll find links to donate to the Vine Trust in our show notes. Finally, this show is celebrating its 10th year this year, and a couple of weeks ago I got to meet in person on my local beach the legend who is Suzanne Lear, who was one of our first ever guests on the show in 2015 and who is doing 3 days of busy, very popular coaching clinics on the water. And as a coach and as an athlete, she's been a top performer for years, and it was great to compare notes with someone who, like us, is in this sport for the long haul. Okay, that's it for this flying update, but if you haven't yet signed up for the Super Festival on the 6th and 7th of September, then please do so. Please come down and see us or follow the action on the supjunkie.uk Facebook channel. And please subscribe to our newsletter ahead of the return of the SUPfm podcast full season later this year. Find us and say hello on social media. And in the meantime, we'll see you on the water.